Massachusetts lawmakers passing new legislation yesterday, which will allow illegal migrants to obtain driver's license in the state, despite the state's governor vetoing the bill last month. Massachusetts is now set to join 16 other states, which already allow migrants to have a license.
U.S. Army veteran and Texas congressional candidate Wesley Hunt joins us now. Wesley, good morning to you. It wasn't even close in Massachusetts. They overwhelmingly vetoed the governor, and supporters of this say that it'll make streets safer because now illegal immigrants could take a driver's test before they get their driver's license. And to that, you say what?
You know, this is the typical playbook from the Democrat Party when everything is failing and everything is going the worst that we've ever seen in this country in modern history. And instead of actually changing the politician, what they actually do is they just want to change the voter. And by allowing illegal immigrants to have an ID, that's flat out un-American. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to flood our market with all these illegal voters, given what we've seen over the course of the past year with their inability to have free and fair elections. And it's just going to be their response to it, to allow millions of people to have an ID. And quite frankly, to the tax-paying American and the everyday American, this is absolutely disgusting, outrageous. And quite frankly, this is why we're going to have a really good November, because these tone-deaf policies are what the world are watching right now. They aren't listening, and quite frankly, we're fed up with it.
And when it comes to elections, Texas Republicans are gearing up for next week's special election in the state's 34th district, with Republican Mayra Flores facing off against Democrat challenger Dan Sanchez. So basically, the Democrats, they're not spending as much money when it comes to things like campaigning on TV. So what does this signify to you, that the GOP is really pushing forward with this, but the Democrats seem to be just kind of playing it safe and not really doing anything when it comes to campaigning?
Well, Mayra Flores is going to win because of the failed policies of the Democrat Party. And just this last primary here in Texas, we've seen a 300% increase in a Republican primary for Hispanic voters at the border. And you know why? Because everyday Americans are flat up fed up with it. And I'm so proud to support Mayra in her efforts through my leadership PAC, Hellfire PAC. We've also supported 56 other candidates just like her. There are diverse candidates. They're military veterans. They're people that want to step up and serve this country and reverse the path that we have seen over the course of the past 18 months. Some of those candidates include Cassie Garcia in Texas, my West Point classmate John James from Michigan, Jeremy Hunt from Georgia, and Jennifer Ruth Green. And these are the kinds of candidates that we need to take back the House. And the left is petrified of this. They know what's coming, and they know that brave Americans are stepping up to stop these failed policies. Mayra will do very well this week.
Yeah, and this race is a big deal because that is a historically blue district. So you're saying that she could flip it.
It's a good flip for us.
She could flip it red.
Yeah.
There's also, this might be one of the reasons why she could win, because there's this new ABC News Ipsos poll. It finds that 57% of Republicans are very enthusiastic to vote in the midterms, compared to only 44% of Democrats. And then you got to look at the president's approval rating. Now only 33%, with 55% of Americans disapproving of the president. And we're hearing the president is really frustrated because he considers former President Trump the worst president in history, and now his approval rating is even worse than that.
And this administration, the Biden administration, it reminds me of the old movie blockbuster, The Titanic. And I remember this one scene as the Titanic was sinking to the bottom of the ocean. The violinists were actually still playing on the deck of the Titanic. And right now, the left is focused far more on the violinists in this concerto than worried about the fact that they are driving this country into the bottom of the ocean. But we are not fooled. We know this is the worst gas prices that we've ever seen in my entire lifetime. We have a food crisis. We have an energy crisis. We have an attack on our oil and gas industry right here in this country. And of course, we see what's happening at the border. We will not be fooled. And that's why November for us is going to be historic.